Good morning, everybody, and welcome into Morning in the Valley. I am Jeff Bidwell. We have taken the show on the road today as we are in Omaha, Nebraska, in my glorious hotel room here in Omaha as we are getting ready for Murray State to take on Arkansas today in an elimination game here in the College World Series. The Racers falling to UCLA 6-4 on Saturday. So 1 o'clock first pitch today. The Racers trying to extend the Missouri Valley stay here in Omaha. Again, the last Valley team to make it this far was Southwest Missouri State back in 2003. So Racers hoping to hang around a little bit longer, but they got to play the number 3 team in the country today. Glad you're with us this morning. Coming up here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be joined by our preseason, at least I believe, who will be the preseason player of the year in the Missouri Valley in 25-26, and that'll be Illinois State's Chase Walker, the big man, the most improved player in the league last year, first team All Missouri Valley Conference. And when our friend Paul Oren and I had our draft of best returning players from the Valley, he was the slam dunk number 1 pick. So we'll talk with Chase coming up in about 10 minutes. If you have not done so already, please head on over to YouTube and subscribe to Morning in the Valley. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. It'll really help us continue to grow this show as we roll through the summer. Now, I believe today, the number, John Rothstein putting it out this morning, I think we are officially 20 weeks away, 140 days from the first games of the 2025-26 season. All right, a couple news and notes today from a headline standpoint, and we talked about the commitment earlier. I guess it was Friday, but now it is officially official at Murray State as they have announced the signing of Roman Doman. We believe that is the correct pronunciation. We'll get that official once he finally makes it to campus. Roman Doman, the 6'10" wing out of France, another player from the international side of things that Ryan Miller has brought in, playing in the highest professional league there in France, and played a lot and played well. And so there are expectations through the roof for Roman this summer. The question is just right now simply going to be, when is he going to get to campus? You know, there have been these the student visa pause right now from the U.S. government as they're just going through trying to go a little deeper on the vetting process of allowing students to come in. Obviously, that impacts student athletes as well, but don't know how it's going to work. I think the expectation is within a month, he will make his way to Murray. Now, a month could be a week, it could be a month, but it'll be sooner than later. But you hope it's sooner from Murray State's standpoint. You're hoping the young man doesn't have to miss, an entire summer of coming in and just getting acclimated to the system and so on. But that is the situation there with Murray State announcing the signing of Roman Doman. All right, the other news we saw on Friday is the NCAA, and it's time to chat some house settlement stuff. On Friday, the NCAA and the defendant conferences in the house settlement. So those are the big, the Power Fives, the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC, and the Pac-12. Put out a 36-page question and answer pamphlet, I guess, to sort of help answer some of the questions about revenue sharing and how this is all going to work. There were a couple pieces in that that really stood out to me. Number one, the extension, or there has been an extension given to opt in to the revenue share into the house settlement. The deadline was yesterday, June 15th. They have extended it to June 30th to give folks a little more time prior to the calendar flipping over to July the 1st. The parts that stood out to me is that really for the first time, what you're going to start seeing with players now when they sign with schools is you are ultimately going to be signing multi-year contracts. And there has been there was some discussion in the past about what are we going to do if we sign kids to multi-year deals, but then, trying to hold kids to NIL deals. But sort of the thought, talking to some coaches, well, you don't want to be that coach that, it gets used against you in recruiting when a kid comes for a year and he's like, hey man, I want to go. And then you are like, well, you signed a contract, you need to stay. And then that's going to be used against. That was almost kind of everybody worries about, negative recruiting, and that was going to be an issue. But now you have, they lay out scenarios of signing multi-year deals. And so again, you have this $20 million salary cap, if you will, that is all the revenue share that schools can use. And so the example they gave was, look, if you sign a kid to a 2-year deal and maybe you give them a 50, and this is again part that the newness of all of it that everybody has to wrap their head around, that hey, you get a $50,000 signing bonus, and then you sign a 2-year deal that's worth $100,000 a year. Well, the signing bonus is attached to year one. So in this example, $150,000 would count against your cap, and then obviously year two then is $100,000. The part that is going to be the most significant piece to all of this, I believe, is there are now going to be buyouts attached to these contracts. And so, for instance, we'll just say if Bradley signs a player and they sign him to a deal and they're going to pay him $100,000 a year, and it's a 2-year deal and he signs $100,000 a year. Well, but they have attached a $500,000 buyout on it. Well, if North Carolina, after a year, he's like, I want to get in the portal, I want to go to North Carolina. Well, that's fine. But North Carolina is going to have to pay $500,000 to Drake or Bradley or whatever school it's just, Bradley, that they're going to have to pay that buyout. And the part of it that is interesting to me is that for North Carolina, whatever school wants to spend buyout money, that money comes out of their cap of $20 million. So on some level, if you're going to go try to poach, you need to leave some salary cap space before you can go chase guys down. The other part of this is if schools in the Missouri Valley go and look, we're going to put $1 million buyout on a kid. Well, these big schools have the money to go get him. And if they do, now you're taking, maybe you have $1 million NIL budget, maybe $1.5 million, but now you're getting an extra $1 million from a school for a buyout. This is going to allow Missouri Valley schools and all schools in our mid-major level to really expand their budgets. And so that's going to be something that is something to watch moving forward. There is going to be, there's some other components to this, which I will get to in just a moment, but our guest has joined us, but he's just walked away. So we'll get with Chase Walker here in just a minute. The part of this that is it's going to be interesting in the end, and I think we're still going to end up going to court, is this is still a salary cap, to call it that. This is still a cap on earnings for student athletes. And that's been part of this whole gist and guys going to court and everything. There's a cap on the earnings. And that was the whole point of this. So I feel like it's going to go to court. We're going to have more lawsuits without a union, without a collective bargaining agreement. That's kind of the deal. So just the new normal, the new era is here, and we're just going to have to see how that continues to roll through as everybody learns more, and we get to July 1, and the new calendar officially begins. All right, time to bring in our guy. He is first team All Missouri Valley Conference in 2024-25, the most improved player in the league, and our choice here on Morning in the Valley for the preseason player of the year coming up next season. He is Illinois State big man, Chase Walker. Chase, good morning to you. How's everything going up there with you today?
Good morning. Everything's pretty good. I just got my skill workout done, so
got to get you some protein in there. Got to get you some breakfast, if nothing else. So you boys working hard up there. So glad you're with us. I appreciate the time today. Let's just go right to the beginning, man. You're back. What was walk me through the process, I guess, the decision of making that decision that you wanted to come back and be a Redbird for a third season?
It was simple, man. I like the people here. I like my coaching staff, the training staff, like the strength and conditioning coach Ryan Swinson, academic coordinator Kelly. Like these are people that like I built relationships with, and I can't just leave. Like these are people like in rough times, like I lean on. So I can't just say like, excuse my language, F y'all, I'm about to go to the bag. That's not kind of how I was raised. So it's hard to find people that you could trust in this world, especially in the basketball world, just with how much like the focus been on money. And so when you find those people like that, you try to hold on to them. So I think that's the biggest reason why I stayed.
So in the end, it was easy. I'm sure there were people knocking on the door and sniffing around and asking questions, but it was
Oh,
pretty
yes,
cut and
sir.
dry for you.
Yes, sir. But going back to my apartment, being with my teammates, going into coaching staff, talking to them, not even about basketball, just life. Like it was, once it was time to make a decision, it was like, all right, nothing beats this. So
You were one of the first, obviously, big dominoes to fall there at Illinois State, saying, "Hey, I'm coming back." How much of a role did you play in knocking on your teammates' doors, going, "Fellas, let's run this back"? And maybe most importantly, Johnny Kinzinger, who was one of the last ones to make the decision to come
yeah,
back. How much of a recruiter did you become this spring?
I don't know. I don't know if you could call me a recruiter because that's like him and Ty Pence. I live with them. That's like my brother. So we was talking about it every day. But like I was more so like, you come talk to me. I'm not gonna try to like sway your
Yeah.
decision. Obviously, I want you to come back, but like this still is a business. So whatever you like, I understand. So I wasn't trying to get in the way, but I was trying to let them know like, hey, I will. Like if you, it would be fun if you came back. So
Let's rewind to the beginning of your career. You get to Illinois State, and the plan is you're going to redshirt, and then after Christmas, after New Year, get into Valley play, and they needed you, and they pulled the red shirt, and you jumped in. What was that like for you? Of you're involved, you're practicing, but maybe not as mentally locked into scouting reports and learning everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, buddy, we need you now. What was that adjustment period like for you to get in there and have to play right away?
um, it wasn't an adjustment period. I think in practice I was so locked in, and not even me, just like the team. Even though we weren't that good my first year, like our attention to detail, I feel like was pretty high, or we tried to keep it pretty high, and that's a reflection on Coach P. Like whatever, if you're practicing, if you're not practicing, if part of staff, like you have to be at practice, you have to be dressed, you have to be tucked in, and you have to be paying attention. So I think I was doing that, and then I was also working off the court to get my body together, and God saw it and gave me opportunity.
What did you do to transform your body? I've seen video from you in high school when you were 300 pounds and were just, you were a load, man. And I can't imagine a high school kid trying to slow you down. But, you've lost, I mean, at 20, 25 pounds, you have developed your body. Like, what has been sort of the secret to that body transformation for you?
Um, no secret, honestly. Just working 2 3 times a day, um, eating right, and I say the most important thing is probably just staying disciplined, staying mentally focused in them. Excuse me, staying mentally focused in them times, because when you first start, it's easy because you got all the motivation in the world, but then
Yeah.
you get to the middle of the pack, week 7 8, you like ice cream sandwich just sounds bad right now. So I think staying disciplined was probably the hardest and the thing that you have to do the most, pay attention to the most.
You averaged 3 points, 2 rebounds as a freshman. Your sophomore year, you averaged 15-6 in your first team all league. What was the summer work and sort of your focus going into last year that I want to get better. This is what I'm going to work on. And in the end, were you surprised at all in this, not only the leap, but the huge leap that you were able to take from your freshman to sophomore year?
So to answer your first part, the summer, the transformation actually started, I want to say in the spring, because we lost the tournament freshman year. We had our spring break, and that Monday when we got back, me and Chief, well, we call him Chief, but Mike Mascheroni, we started going at 7 in the morning every day, and then we would go ride the bike, and then we'd have the team lift, and then we go back to the gym, and then like you do recovery or something like that, and we did that every day in the spring, and then I went home, worked out with my trainer. We call him Connor Barber. Kind of did the same thing. I told him like what the goal was. Went down there, came back, did the same thing with Chief, and now we're here.
Now we're here.
And then the second part, is it surprising? Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say it's pretty surprising. Just because, like, you work real hard, and as athletes, we could be kind of narcissistic and just believe that, like, you can do, like, anything in the world, which you kind of have to when you play at that high level. But when, like, you see it come to fruition, especially, like, me, where, like, the goalpost kind of seems so far, now, like, you hit it, you like, wow, like, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I'll say just a tad bit.
You had 31 against UIC, 27 against SLU, 27 against Northern Iowa, 25 against Drake. I mean, you had your best games last year against some of the best competition you played all year. Just from a mental standpoint of where was the transformation from you from, man, maybe I'm surprised a little bit. I'm scoring, I'm helping our team win, and then to where it kind of did it flip to you of I'm the guy now. Like nobody can stop me. Like, does that transformation have to you have to learn that a little bit of I don't know, imposter syndrome is the right way, but it's like, you're kind of freshman, you're feeling your way out, but it's like now you're like, dude, you are the man in the middle, and everybody get out of my way. When did that happen for you last year?
Probably Virgin Islands.
Okay.
A little bit. Honestly, I'm still like going through the transition and kind of like being the guy. People would tell me that all the time, and I'd just be like, I'm just part of the team. That's kind of just like my mentality. Like whatever the team needs, like it doesn't really matter. You can be the guy all you want, but if you lose it, what does it matter, right? So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily look at it as being the guy. I'm trying to be a leader of a team that's trying to go really far. And then
but your guys had to, again, you averaged 3 points as a freshman. I don't think you walked in your sophomore year and people thought, all right, Chase is our leader and we're going to follow him. That had to happen.
probably, yeah, I say Virgin Islands. That UAB game, because I don't know about being a guy, but like as far as confidence wise, that's when like, okay, like it's like I can play here. And then I don't know if you guys knew, but I would throw up a lot before games because I just get like nervous, anxious, just want to do the right thing, right? And like when we went to Virgin Islands, I had to talk with Coach P. And he was like, I'm not like, you're the best player on the floor. I'm not taking you out. I'm not, you could throw up on the floor. Like we will wait till they clean it up and we would still play. So I think the Virgin Islands was just like, where I calmed down. I learned like my teammates trust me. They see me put the work in. So there's kind of nothing to be anxious about.
What is it like playing for Ryan Peden?
It's cool, man. Coach P is Coach P is one of a kind. Like super charismatic, super confident. It's like he's one of them guys that like when you're around, his confidence and stuff is just like he gives it. It kind of just like goes to you, right? Because like he prepares so much and like he's a workhorse. Oh my, he's in that office every day. But like he comes in so prepared and so confident, so ready to get the job done that you look over at him and you like, yeah, let's do it. You know, let's get this done, coach. Yeah. And I mean that's what you want, right? And then you play hard, you play defense, you execute, and you play the right way. You got a spot with Coach P.
You guys have had the chance a couple of times, but I know even within the last week, Doug Collins, the GOAT there at Illinois State, came in and got a chance to talk to you guys. What's those conversations like when he comes in and talks, and what have you been able to take away from his conversations with you all?
Um, a lot of conversations is just enjoy playing with the guy next to you. Cause like in college, it kind of changed now because of the NIL and everybody getting paid. But like college is like the real time where it's like this is like your friend, your brother that you're going to war with. You're not worried about feeding families. You're not worried about how much money you make and none of that. You're literally just trying to get the job done and one for your brother in your school. So it was just most of the time it's conversations like that. Playing your role to the best of your ability, being a star in your role, and just being for the team, making sure you're for the team. And then what
You,
I take from it, because he'll put me to the side sometimes, just like trying to be a lead more like vocally, because I'm not a real big talker, and sometimes I get out of my shell, but sometimes I feel like I'm forcing it, and if I feel
yeah.
like I'm forcing it, I go right back. So just trying to like be a leader, be a leader to the young guys now, especially is what he told me. Just making sure they know what they're doing, the right thing, playing the right way.
You guys got a chance to play in the CBI and in the postseason, and you went
That's,
and won the whole thing. Not many teams that get to win their last game of the season. How much of, especially with everybody coming back for you guys, how much of a springboard was that into the spring workouts and so on to be able to go and in a championship setting and be able to win it and now hope to spin off that into next year?
I think it was a big spinoff. I think getting the experience to play like in the postseason. I know it wasn't like the tournament, but we still got a chance to play and know what that like those big games feel like, those win and go homes, like where you kind of have to be. I don't want to say perfect, but your room for error is really small. So I think going down there experiencing that for somebody like me, for somebody like Johnny, for somebody like Ty, who we was kind of new to it, new to just like the college basketball and everything like that. Getting those experiences, I feel like it's gonna help us now for when like we go into those big games. And it just made everybody hungrier. Like coming back off of there, we had like 2 days off, and I don't think nobody took them off. So we we've been ready, we've been working, and we just trying to. We're excited. We're excited.
You guys are going to be, if not number one, you're going to be number two in the preseason poll when it comes out, in October, a few months from now. How do you think you guys as a unit are built for handling expectations? You guys have been you've been on the rise here the last couple of years, but now everybody thinks you're here. How do you think you guys are going to handle that sort of preseason pressure of trying to live up to that?
Yeah. I don't think our guys, us as a team, we don't look into that. We're super old now, so I don't think those. We don't really look at the pros. Like I don't have Twitter. I don't really get on social media like that. I know a couple of my teammates who don't. So we're locked into playing basketball and getting the job done. The rest they can have.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What is your, and we said you're the guy, but in that sense, but for me, the part about you that is so unique, there's just not many 6'9", 275 dudes walking around this league, and you're so unique in your skill, in your size, in your skill set, and what you've been able to do already. But what is the goal for this summer? What is the focus for you that when you roll out there that first week in November, we're gonna go, whoa, we didn't know Chase Walker had that in the bag. What's your focus?
Um, versatility. We've been shooting the ball a lot. Just trying to. I shot it pretty good last year. We're trying to get that as close to automatic as possible from beyond the three. And then like playing more on the perimeter too, because we're trying to go. Don't tell nobody, but we're trying to go from 275 to 265.
Okay, all right.
I told you don't tell nobody, but there's people watching this.
A couple. That's right.
But yeah, just trying to play the four a little bit. We're trying to get more agile, and then defending, making sure I can defend multiple positions.
265. There's not many ice cream sandwiches in that menu, is there?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Last question for you, my man. You talk about the confidence of Ryan Peden. We saw a couple of months ago after the CBI championship, you two were asked to go out and throw out a first pitch at one of the baseball games.
Well, somebody threw a strike and somebody threw a foul ball. I'm not going to call them names out, but.
Well, all right, we don't have to talk about the negative. Who threw the strike? Attaboy. So,
you see the form? Toe pointed. I'm not holding the ball right, but all my baseball friends got on me a little bit. They was not happy about that, but we got the job done.
Got the job done. Fired that sucker right down the middle. Well, that's good, and I hope you let Coach know about it, about who had the better arm.
I didn't. I let him think that he threw the strike. Help everybody. Help everybody. I didn't want to clown on him. Didn't want to make any jokes. As my head coach, that's a big ball.
Chase Walker, the first team All Missouri Valley Conference standout from a year ago, most likely preseason player of the year this year, and expecting big things out of you, Chase. Enjoy the summer, enjoy the work, and even though there's no ice cream sandwiches, good luck this summer, and looking forward to seeing you this November.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. There is Chase Walker. Don't tell anybody, 265. Holy cow. He is a big man, and apparently going to start trying to step outside a little bit and stress some defenses as well. He is just most improved player last year, and for good reason. 3 points, 2 rebounds as a freshman to go to 15-6 last year, along with him, along with Johnny Kinzinger. I'm just going to be hard-pressed to see anybody when that preseason poll comes out in November outside Illinois State being that number 1 pick. But a lot of teams are coming, and they're certainly going to be there at the top. So thanks to Chase for being with us today. If you have not done so, please head over to YouTube, search out Morning in the Valley, subscribe to our show there. You'll get notifications anytime we go live. We got full show recaps. We got clips from interviews there as well if you ever miss anything. So we'd appreciate you doing that. That'll do it for this morning's edition of Morning in the Valley. The bus is about to leave. I got to go hop on it, head on over to Charles Schwab Stadium, Omaha, and get ready for Murray State and Arkansas in the NCAA Tournament College World Series elimination game, 1 o'clock today. So got the radio call on that. We'll be back on Wednesday. Hopefully still here in Omaha. If not, we'll be back home in the friendly confines. But we'll be back with you Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Have a great Monday, everybody, and thanks for watching Morning in the Valley.